Hello there everybody, so better nice Hurricane man. Welcome back to Umineko. In the last episode we had ourselves a bit of a family dispute, you could say. Had a pretty... how do I describe this? It's a moment I did not like. I like Maria, and I don't know. Repeatedly slapping your child. I'm not a parent. I have no right to basically call anybody out on this, but I'm just gonna shut up and keep my opinions to myself. It's not a good idea for me to let you guys know my own personal thoughts on that. Let's just get started. Let's just get back into the story. Okay, let's see what's going on. A news ticker popped up on top of the TV program we were watching. The disaster report told how municipalities all over were continually sending out rain, flood, and wave warnings. Of course, the raindrops beating harshly on the window were even more concerning.
すっげえ降りだな。でもこれだけ盛大だとすぐにやみそうな気もするけどな。
To be quite honest, I kind of like it when it rains outside. I like the sound of raindrops hitting the window.
そりゃ雨ぜ。台風の速度が遅いそうだから、下手すりゃ明日も丸一日こんな調子らしいぜ。
Oh, that sounds fun.
ちょっとの天気でも船は欠航するもんだしよ。
やっぱり日曜日のうちには引き上げられないか。念のため月曜日に外部とのスケジュールを入れなくて正解だったよ。
Well, that's good.
ってことは月曜の学校はサボれそうだな。
What the hell? Don't think all those words are supposed to be so close together.
カメハメハ。
船が出なきゃ休みになるぜ。
What the hell?
もっともそう甘くはねえけどな。
What the fuck's going on here? What's up with the text thing is going on here? And why did it sound like he was saying Kamehameha?
大抵その代わりに自習が指示されて、後でかっちりと見られるから、そうそう気楽でもねえさ。
Let's just pretend that... Okay, we can't pretend that didn't happen. What the fuck was that?
例えば梅雨なんかの長く天気が崩れる時期だと数日間くらい登校できないこともあるんじゃねえのか。
そういうこともあるぜ。でも毎日きっちり担任から電話がかかってきて、どう自習しろ、何を提出しろと酸っぱく指導されるけどな。
バトラ君が考えてるほど簡単にはサボれないよ。船で通う人たちのルールに従ってしっかり勉強をしているよ。
むしろ登校できた方が気楽だぜ。自分の部屋じゃ気が散るし、集中もできねえしな。それでいて問題集ばっかり数日もやらされてると、かなり精神的に応えるもんがあるぜ。大学の時にはよ、寮のあるところに入ってさっさとこんな不便な島はおさらばしたいもんだぜ。
へえ。じゃあよ、ちなみに行きは天気が良くても帰りは悪くて欠航ってなったらどうすんだ。学校に泊まるのか。
I imagine.
そういうのはよくあることだぜ。
Oh, okay.
だから帰島できない人用の宿泊所があってよ。
That's good. That's actually pretty good. That's actually a good idea.
そこに寝泊まりするんだよ。下手すりゃ数日間家に帰れないこともあったりするぜ。
Well, at least they had a backup plan. That's good.
乗車率が 200% を超えるような満員電車で毎日通勤通学しなければならない人から見てみると、船の通学なんて趣があって良さそうだななんて無責任に思っちゃうけど。
よく無神経な観光客がそういうこと言ってるぜ。私は島の生活なんてもう早く高校出てこんな島とはおさらばしたいぜ。
高校にだって全寮制のところとかあったろうよ。 なんでわざわざ新島の学校を選んだんだよ。
私は最初からそれを希望してたぜ。
Oh, okay.
でもおふくろがよ、当主後継ぎとしての修行やらマナーやらがうんぬんってうるさくてよ。
Always the freaking stress of trying to be a successor.
結局高校も地元になっちまったのさ。こんな島はごめんなぜ。
I don't blame you.
早く都会で生活したいよ。
It's not really all that cracked up to be. Cities are freaking loud as hell. There's always people yelling at you when you're trying to walk across something. There's always people that don't know how to freaking drive, and I'm just complaining about shit. Let's just get back on with the
雨
visual
が降
novel
ろ
now,
うが
shall we?
槍が降ろうが、ラフな格好でサンダルを履けば。
I don't know, that's not a good idea to go ahead and just say spears falling from the sky. You might just call Monokuma. Yeah, called? No, shut up, go away.
5分足らずでコンビニに行けるような都会に引っ越したいぜ。
Well, just a little longer.
高校卒業まであとちょっとでしょ。
そのちょっとも我慢できねえぜ。
Jessica stretched out and reclined in the sofa. Maybe it was a bad time slot, because there weren't any interesting programs on. And we had nothing to do but languidly kill time until we were called for dinner. After that episode, Maria never returned to the cousin's room after all. Oh. Aunt Rosa probably took her back to the mansion. I really hope so. I don't want her out in this storm. It had to be pretty boring for Maria, all by herself while the adults had a confusing conversation. We thought we may as well head over to the mansion to see her, but the weather really was awful. And since there wasn't much time until dinner, we stayed where we were. At that time, we heard the sound of a humble knock. Jessica answered.
はーい。
お食事の準備が整いました。お屋敷へお越しください。
Is that Cannon? Yep, it was Cannon-kun's voice. Did he go to all the trouble of coming from the mansion in this rain just to get to us? Couldn't he have just called us on the telephone? Well, I guess servants at work don't always get to take the most efficient route.
なんとなくお腹が空いてきた頃だったしね。行こうか。
George Aniki turned off the television and stood up.
俺はとっくにペコペコ。
Why are you talking so quickly? I'm assuming that's what you're doing because all your text is like really...
親族会議の日は特に豪華になるしな。
It's happening again.
私だって楽しみだぜ。行こう行こ
As we left the room, Cannon-kun bowed silently and respectfully.
う。じゃあ行こうぜ。外の振りはだいぶひどいだろう。
はい。お召し物を濡らさぬよう十分ご注意ください。
After seeing the three of us out, Cannon-kun peered into the empty room.
マリアス様はいらっしゃいませんか？
一緒じゃないぜ。ローザおばさんと一緒じゃないのかよ。
Oh no. Please tell me she's with Aunt Rosa right now. I don't want her to be outside by herself. Oh, Rosa was lying on a sofa in the empty parlor, having fallen asleep before she knew it. She was bearing a burden that the children couldn't even imagine. That's why she only needed to let her guard down a little before the weariness immediately dragged her into a world of sleep. Realizing this, Genji brought a blanket over her to her. Aww. When he tried to spread it over her, her eyes snapped open as though she'd been shocked with electricity.
ありがとう。源氏さんなのね。
When she realized that the thing that had touched her was just a blanket, and that Genji had been considerately giving it to her, she let out a sigh of relief.
起こしてしまいましたか。失礼いたしました。
Genji, you seem like a really nice guy.
いえ、いいの。寝るつもりじゃなかったから。今は何時なの？
Nice little yawn there. When he was asked for the time, Genji checked a pocket watch they took out of his chest pocket.
6時を少し過ぎたところです。
Rosa gave her head a little shake when she realized that not much time had actually passed, even though it had felt like she'd slept for ages. Even though she didn't feel rested at all, the drowsiness that had enveloped her must have been pretty deep.
ありがとう。毛布は結構よ。変な時間に眠っちゃダメね。
すっかり時間の感覚が狂っちゃったわ。雨、とうとう降り出したのね。
Rosa finally realized that the peaceful sound that had put her to sleep was actually the rain.
風もだいぶ出てるよね。いよいよ台風なのかしら。
そのようにテレビでは申しております。遅い台風だそうで、明日いっぱいはこんな調子だそうです。
Oh boy.
そう。この素敵なバラ庭園も日中のあれが見納めだったのね。
From the window, what she could see of the rose garden was completely blurred by the wind and the rain.
マリア。そうだ。
Oh no! Oh no, no, no,
私
no.
はお見かけしておりませんが、ゲストハウスにお戻りではないでしょうか。
Oh shit, no, no, no. Rosa knew her daughter's nature well, so a chill ran down her spine. Maria was stubbornly honest, and if she was ordered to find something that didn't exist, she would look forever and ever. Even in pouring... Oh no.
違うわ。いとこの子たちは先に行ってしまったから、あそこにはマリア一人。あの子は誰かにもうやめろと言われない限り、たとえ槍が降ってこようとあそこに居続けるわ。傘もささずに。
Then stop talking and run out and get her!
私は感情に任せてなんてことを！
You idiot, just go out and save her! Even though she'd known about Maria's simple honesty better than anyone, she'd once again lost control of her emotions and done something terrible.
Maria!
Rosa pushed Genji away and ran down the hall. Oh, please tell me she's okay. The outside really looked like a typhoon, and the rain was pouring down spectacularly. Maybe because of some aspect of the terrain, the winds weren't typhoon class, so an umbrella wouldn't be torn out of one's hands. Even so, it certainly was a windy rain. And there was no time to admire the roses being drenched.
とりあえず今はマリアが気になるぜ。まさかあの後もずっと一人でへそ曲げてあそこでバラ探しをしてるなんてことはないよな。
Yes, she is! Get out there!
そうだね。さすがにこの雨じゃと思いたいところだけど、マリアちゃんはたまにすごく頑固でものすごく愚直な時がある。
We hadn't worried much, thinking that Aunt Rosa had taken her back to the mansion. However, when Kenon-kun had come from the mansion to call us and thought Maria was here, we got a little worried.
お屋敷ではお見かけしませんでしたので、てっきりこちらにおられるとばかり。ローザ様は仮眠を取られておいででしたので。
ここに来る途中に見かけなかったのかよ。
申し訳ございません。傘を差し急ぎ駆け抜けたもので、そこまでの注意を払いませんでした。
If he had cut through the rose garden and taken the shortest line between the mansion and the guest house, then he would have just barely missed the place where Maria had been looking for her rose. And it was raining this hard too. It certainly would have been possible for Kenon-kun to fail to notice her, especially in this
こ
weather.
こ
I
で
don't
議論
blame
するよ
him.
り直接確かめる方が早いさ。兄貴、ちょいとかけっこと行こうじゃねえかよ。
6年成長したから僕に勝てるつもりかい？
Really?
よし、決着をつけようじゃないか。行こう。
George Aniki and I flew into the rain. Jessica and Kenon-kun followed us. Please tell me she's okay.
いるなら返事をしなさい。マリア！
ローザおばさんだ。おばさん！
When George Aniki called back, Aunt Rosa jumped at him and grabbed onto him.
マリアはどこ？ジョージ君たちと一緒じゃないの？
いえ、僕たちはあの後マリアちゃんには出会ってません。
マリア
！6 years ago, Maria was 3 years old. She was a cute and pure kid who'd just accept whatever anyone would say. But 6 years have passed since then. She's 9 now, and experiencing the ups and downs of life should have taught her something. But Maria, are you telling me you're still as innocent and pure as you used to be?
マリア！
As I circled the rose bed, something white unexpectedly turned to face me. It was a white umbrella. Maria was crouching down, holding a white umbrella and still searching for that rose. Her face, which had turned bright red from her crying her eyes out, was dirtied with water and mud. It was a truly pitiful sight.
お前まだ探してたのか。
見つからない。マリアのバラ見つからない。
Maria had probably been here since the rain started pouring down. Her shoulders were freezing. She looked tired to the bone, but fortunately, since she was holding an umbrella, she wasn't completely soaked. The umbrella probably came from the handbag Maria always carried around. Thank goodness. Seriously, thank goodness.
バトラ君、よかった。見つけたんだね。
マリア、ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
Aunt Rosa threw her umbrella aside and hugged Maria.
ない。マリアのバラがない。
後でママも一緒に探してあげるからね。だから今日はお預けにしなさい。
今日はお預け。
It looked like Maria still wasn't able to accept it, but she no longer had enough energy left to resist. Jessica and Ken couldn't cut out with this.
すぐにお屋敷でタオルの用意をさせましょう。
マリア、ずっとここにいたのか。
Jeez.
ごめんね。本当に悪いママでごめんね。
ローザおばさん、とりあえずお屋敷に行きましょう。このままじゃマリアちゃん風邪をひいちゃう。
Yeah, we need to get her cleaned up.
そうね。マリア、行きましょう。ちゃんときれいにしないとおじい様に怒られちゃうわよ。
お腹すいた。もう食事の時間だぜ。マリアはよく頑張ったよ。天気が良くなったら私たちも一緒に探してやるから。
We couldn't stay in the rain forever. We took Maria with us as we headed back to the mansion. Maria apparently wasn't as worn out as I thought. When she remembered we were having calf steak for dinner, she started chanting, "I'm hungry, I'm hungry," and turned to her usual spirits. Oh, good lord, I was having a heart attack worrying about her. Aunt Rosa didn't chide Maria for saying hungry.
そっか、傘を持っていたのか。さすがマリアは物持ちがいいぜ。
Yeah.
マリア、傘なんか持ってない。
What? Huh?
なんだよ。じゃあその手に持ってる白い傘はどうしたんだよ。
貸してもらった。
You borrowed it? Some caring person must have brought her an umbrella. A normal kid would look for shelter once it started raining, but Maria was too stubborn to give up so easily. So, maybe that caring person gave up on telling Maria to find shelter and then decided at least to give her an umbrella. Well, whoever that is, I want to meet them. I mean, good lord.
そう。
That's good.
その人にお礼を言わないとね。誰？ベアトリーチェ。
The name Maria cheerfully mentioned was that of the island's witch. Rosa took a deep breath and asked again, trying to do so in a way that wouldn't damage Maria's good mood.
そう。よかったわね。それで誰なの？傘を持ってきてくれた人は。
おお、ベアトリーチェ。
Maria immediately realized that her mother didn't believe her, and started crying out unhappily again. So Rosa stopped pursuing the subject. It'd probably be faster to ask whoever lent Maria the umbrella during dinner, rather than ask Maria herself. Am I the one that just got like a big cold chill down my spine as soon as I read that? Oh boy.
お父さん、
せめて晩餐にだけは出席してください。
Is that Kraus?
これでは親族会議になりません。
It sounds like Kraus. Along with the dull pounding on the door, the sound of Kraus's... Oh yeah, I was right. Kraus's entreaty could be heard. However, that voice seemed to be resigned to the fact that nothing it said would be heard.
金蔵さん、せめて夕食くらいは出んかね。あんたの顔を見ようと息子さんたちが集まってきてるんじゃないか。
黙れ南條。ビショップが聞かぬか。言って足りぬ。
Are they playing chess right now? Apparently, Kinzo was completely focused on the final battle of his long-lasting chess match with Nanjo. Kinzo's brow was wrinkled as he continued to glare at the game board through his spectacles. Kraus's voice didn't reach his ears.
金蔵さん、私も腹が減った。下に降りて食事をせんか。
ならばお前だけで行くといい。私はもうしばらくこの一手を吟味させてもらうぞ。今夜で決着をつけてやる。さもなくばお前との決着は金輪際つけられそうにないからな。
The world ends. Nanjo rose from his seat, hoping this would prompt Kinzo to do the same, but Kinzo's eyes never left the chessboard. He knew well that Kinzo always displayed a blind concentration when it came to chess, but he'd never seen Kinzo concentrate as hard as this. It was almost as though Kinzo was telling the truth, and there would never be another chance for them to continue their contest if they didn't finish tonight. It seemed that, no matter how obstinately he called out to Kinzo, it wouldn't reach the latter's heart. Nanjo gave up and headed to the door that Kraus was still banging on. The door to the study opened. Kraus was taken aback, thinking that maybe Kinzo was actually coming out. However, Nanjo was the one who appeared, and Kraus let out a sigh of relief.
南條先生、親父殿は。
お役に立てなくて申し訳ございませんな。今や金蔵さんの世界はこの部屋だけです。
Nanjo shook his head with a completely defeated expression. Kraus raised his fist once more and banged on the door, shouting.
お父さん、聞こえますか。私たちは下へおりますが、気が向かれたらいつでもおいでください。息子兄弟一同、ずっとお待ちしておりますよ。
His voice was very loud, and he was making a racket pounding on the door. There was no way it wouldn't reach Kinzo's ears. Well, it certainly was reaching him, but he ignored it anyway. However, unlike the time he'd been called down for lunch, he didn't fly into a rage. By now, Kinzo was calm at heart, as though he had taken on a philosophical view and turned himself over to fate.
晩餐にも息子たちの顔にも興味はない。私がここを出るのはベアトリーチが蘇る時か、私が鍵の生贄に選ばれた時だけだ。もう悪魔のルーレットは回っている。今さら晩餐に何の意味があろう。
He keeps mentioning that, the demon's roulette. As though the painfully loud banging on the door completely failed to enter his hearing, Kinzo silently thought about his next chess move, still in his philosophical state. Just as always, Kinzo's figure couldn't be seen anywhere in the dining hall. Kraus, wearing a bitter smile, returned with Nanjo.
親父殿は相変わらずご気分が優れられないそうだ。年に一度の親族が集まるこの機会に同席できないことを非常に残念がられておられた。
Ava and Rudolph sniggered. Given Kinzo's personality, there was no way he'd show signs of regret. And none of his relatives showed any regret at his absence. Sorry.
ではディナーを始めようじゃないか。ゴーダ、始めたまえ。
かしこまりました。それでは始めさせていただきます。
When Goda was told to start the family conference dinner, his biggest time to shine of the whole year, he nodded with a broad grin.
マリアに傘を貸してくれた人は誰かしら。
When Rosa timidly cut through the silence of the dining hall, everyone noticed.
傘？何の話？
A short while back, Maria was in the rose garden when it started raining. And she apparently borrowed a white umbrella from someone. I wanted to thank them.
俺たちじゃねえぜ。ローザが出てった後は、部屋を移してずっと仲良くおしゃべりをしてたからな。
Maybe it really was Beatrice.
はは、そうやで。あの後も兄弟で仲良くおしゃべりをしとったのや。
Friendly chat my ass. The word friendly fell awkwardly from Hideyoshi's lips. So even though those who hadn't been present could tell, the conversation hadn't been a pleasant one.
少なくとも私とエヴァとルドルフと、あと秀吉さんとキリエさんではないことも確かだがね。
私たちは夏日姉さんとローザさんが出て行った後もずっと一緒だったわ。食事の時間までずっとね。
兄さんは源氏さんと一緒にお父様を呼びに上の書斎へ。私たちはそのまま食堂へ直行したもの。だから私たちではないわね。傘を貸すなんて親切、使用人の誰かじゃないの？
じゃあ、ゴーダさん？
私はずっと厨房で準備をしておりましたもので、申し訳ございません。
Goda-san looked slightly disappointed about missing this chance to show off. What? At that time, Shannon and Kumasawa appeared, pushing a servant cart loaded with eau de voix.
じゃあ、熊沢さんかシャノンちゃんかしら。
I think I'm pretty much mispronounced that, but I'm just gonna guess. It's pronounced eau de voix. I'm probably wrong.
はい。何か粗相がございましたでしょうか？
No, it's okay. Because Shannon had come in part way, she shrank back, mistakenly thinking that the others were searching for the one responsible for some error.
違うよ。マリアちゃんがバラ庭園に一人でいた時に雨が降ってきてね。誰かが傘を貸してくれたんだよ。ローザおばさんがその人にお礼を言いたいって言うのさ。
ああ、ベアトリーチェ。
Maria, her mouth a thin line, said the witch's name in a small voice. Aunt Rosa explained the situation one more time. As she did, Kumasawa-san cackled.
私たちでもございませんよ。私もシャノンさんも一緒にお部屋の準備をしておりましたから、お外には出ておりません。
It must have been Beatrice then. So she's real.
はい。気が利かなくてすみません。
部屋の準備とは何のことかね。
この雨ですから。客人の皆さんがゲストハウスにお帰りになられるのも大変かと思って、使用人たちに屋敷内の客室の準備をするように命じたのです。
Oh, that was a good idea, I think.
あら、気が利くじゃない。そうね。この雨の中、表に追い出すのは失礼だものね。
もう予算か。
はい。奥様からそのようにご指示を受けまして、私と熊沢さんとカノン君の3人で準備をしておりました。そして、ご夕食の時間になり、源氏様からゲストハウスのお子様方をお呼びするようご指示をいただいたため。
ええ。ですから、カノンさんがゲストハウスに行かれるときに、マリアさんを見つけて、傘をお渡ししたのではありませんか？
Well, he said he didn't see her because he was running over, so...
違う！
The person who had actually received the umbrella denied it. Rosa was troubled. All she wanted to do was give a word of thanks to the person who'd lent the umbrella, but she couldn't find them. And she thought asking like this with everyone gathered for dinner would work immediately.
じゃあ、夏日姉さん？
ごめんなさい。私は皆さんとの仲良くの語らいの後、頭痛がひどかったので、自分の部屋で休んでいました。
Rosa, you need to think about this. It might have been Beatrice at this point.
ですから、表へは出ていません。
Then again, I don't blame you. Usually when these situations come across, nobody seems to question the supposedly impossible. They always try to find logic in the situation, but they still fail in the end.
なら、誰なの？
It was
ジョージ君
Beatrice.
たち？ なわけないわよね。
いえ、僕たちじゃありません。僕たちはずっとゲストハウスでテレビを見てました。
むしろ私たちは、マリアはおばさんと一緒に屋敷に行ったとばかり。
Then Canon-kun came and he asked whether Maria was with us. That's when we first realized she wasn't in the mansion. I mean, if it were me, I'd have grabbed her hand and pulled her under a roof before giving her an umbrella. Rosa was completely baffled. One by one, the relatives and the servants denied that they had done it, even though it really wasn't something anyone would need to hide. So by process of elimination, the number of remaining candidates wasn't large.
もちろん私でもありませんが、雨が降り始めてすぐの頃、金蔵さんの部屋を訪ねて、ついさっきまで一緒にチェスをしておりました。
ということは、おじい様でもないよね。
なんだなんだ、妙な話になってきたぜ。
Yeah. Are you starting to realize what it was?
あと残るのは誰だ？
Beatrice, you dingus!
じゃあ、誰？源氏さん？ちょっと待って。勘違いした。別に、私は何かの犯人探しをしてるんじゃないのよ。雨の中のマリアに傘を差し伸べてくれた人に、母としてお礼が言いたいだけなの。
Rosa, giving an umbrella to a girl loitering in the rain was something to be praised, not hidden. Despite that, no one raised their hand. Why not? Everyone started whispering about how strange this was getting.
落ち着けよ、ローザ。傘を借りた本人に聞けばいいじゃねえか。
That's what everyone had been thinking since the beginning. They were all scratching their heads at why she didn't just ask Maria, who had been given the umbrella. However, Rosa bit her lower lip. After all, she already knew how Maria would answer if asked.
どうりや。ルドルフ君の言う通りやないか。マリアちゃん、おじさんに教えてえな。マリアちゃんに傘を貸してくれたのは誰や？
We already know the answer.
ベアトリーチェ。
The dining hall was wrapped in silence for an instant, but it was soon interrupted by a burst of laughter.
なるほど。森の魔女ベアトリーチェが不憫に思って傘を貸してくれたか。いい話じゃないかね。ローザ、そういうことだ。
Rosa couldn't believe it. Even though she just wanted to say thanks for the umbrella, why did everything have to be so clouded in smoke?
クラウスおじさんの言う通り、ベアトリーチェが貸してくれたの。
それはよかった。無垢だというのは実に羨ましいことではないか。なあ、諸君。
Okay, something's confusing here. It probably was... okay. I'm gonna believe the fact that Beatrice is real, okay? Obviously, I'm gonna believe that. If Beatrice is this supposedly evil... supposedly a witch or evil being, why would she be nice to Maria and give her an umbrella? There's gotta be... I have this feeling there's going to be a bit of a connection between Maria and Beatrice. I might be wrong, I don't know. I just have this thought. I just have this thought. Kraus was laughing with a face that was clearly mocking. But Maria was overjoyed, apparently convinced that her claim was being believed.
一体どうなってんの？まさか本当に魔女が現れて傘を貸したってのかよ。
Yes. Jessica asked me in a small voice that wouldn't carry over to Maria, who was still sitting across from me.
マリアって冗談が言えるタイプだっけ？
No, she's actually been very honest. If we'd heard that kind of story pop out of my old bastard's mouth, we would have just taken it as another joke. However, it was hard to explain it away like that when Maria said it. This was getting pretty unnerving.
いや、昔から愚直なぐらい正直で真面目だよ。
Yeah.
普通なら聞いただけで嘘とわかるような冗談すら鵜呑みにするタイプだぜ。マリアから冗談を言い出すなんて聞いたこともない。
That's because she's probably telling the truth. And Rosa probably knew that better than anyone. It appeared that because of this weird situation, she had no idea what was going on anymore.
じゃあ、マリアがベアトリーチェに傘を借りたと言ったなら、それは間違いなくベアトリーチェなのか。
マリアに関してだけは何かの比喩とか冗談とかそういうことは考えられねえぜ。額面通りの意味だと思うべきだろうよ。
じゃあなんだよ。源氏さんあたりがあの肖像画のごついドレスを着てマリアに傘を持って行ってやったっていうのか。
そんなことは知らねえぜ。私が聞きたいくらいさ。
Jessica shrugged jokingly, but her expression didn't completely match her attitude. Once the hors d'oeuvres were set out and Goda showed off his vast store of knowledge, the meal began. Wait a minute, hold on. I think I know the pronunciation. Hors d'oeuvres. Is that right? Is that the correct? Hors d'oeuvres. Is that the correct pronunciation of that word? Shit. I don't know. A couple casual chats broke out here and there, but they seemed somehow distant. And the meal ended up being so quiet that you couldn't ignore the sound of the rain sneaking into the dining hall. Kumasawa and Shannon, pushing the serving cart, ran into Genji and Cannon on their way to the kitchen.
源氏さんですか？マリア様に傘を貸されたのは。
傘？何のことだ？
Okay, so clearly it's Beatrice.
はい。雨が降り出した時に、マリア様は一人でバラ庭園におられたそうで、
That's Shannon.
そこでどなたかに傘をお借りになったそうなのですが、それがどなたかわからないのです。
僕じゃないよ。マリア様はゲストハウスにいると思ってたくらいだからね。バトラ様が最初に見つけられた時にはもう白い傘をお持ちだった。
申し訳ないが、それは私でもない。
じゃあまさか親方様。
It wasn't him. Both in the dining hall and right here, everyone had stated that they hadn't done it. That left only Kinzo, but we know for a
何
fact he's
か
still
の
in his
御用
room.
で廊下を歩かれている時、偶然バラ庭園に傘もささないマリア様が見えたとか。
I doubt it.
親
I'm
方
sorry,
様
I doubt
は
it.
マリア様のことをあまりお好きではない。
同感だね。親方様がマリア様のために直々に開花までお越しになって傘をお持ちくださるとは考えられないよ。
Yeah. Oh my, how troublesome.
では、マリア様に傘をお貸しになられたのは、本当にベアトリーチェ様ってことに
Kumasawa laughed, just like the relatives in the dining hall who had laughed it off. She couldn't think of any other way to break through the smoke veiling the current situation. Just then, this crisp sound of hands clapping twice rang through the hallway. Huh? Goda! They all turned around at once to see Goda coming out of the dining hall.
さあさあ皆さん、ディナーは配膳のタイミングも大事です。すぐにスープの配膳に取り掛かってください。源氏さん、彼女らは大切なお仕事中ですので、お引き止めになられないでください。
You're not the head servant, though. You shouldn't be giving commands to the head servant. Kannon glared at Goda for being rude to Genji, a person Kannon respected. Genji, realizing this, patted Kannon once on the shoulder as a warning. Kannon reluctantly turned away and returned his expression to normal.
ゴーダの指示に従いなさい。今は晩餐の配膳を急ぐよう。
ほらほら、時間がありません。タラタラしない。急ぎますよ。
Goda grabbed the servant's cart from Shannon and steadily pushed it towards the kitchen.
では、 私どもも厨房に戻らせていただきます。ゴーダさんも気の短い方ですからね。
Yeah, that's one way to say it.
私もこれで失礼いたします。
Kumasawa and Shannon left. Only Genji and Kennen remained. Through the window, the darkness of the rainy night could be seen, along with the occasional thunderbolt.
源氏様、ベアトリーチェ様が本当にお戻りになられたのでしょうか。
わからん。
親方様にお知らせしますか。
They know Beatrice, apparently. That line, did Beatrice-sama really return? That means they know of Beatrice's existence. Or maybe I'm reading too much into it. Hold on.
せずともよい。本当にお戻りになられたのだ。やがておのずと親方様の前へ現れよう。それに、あれは気まぐれなお方。親方様にご報告申し上げたところで、お姿を現されないことには何の意味もない。
親方様の儀式はすでに始まっているということでしょうか。
おそらく。だがそれは我ら家具には何の関わりもないこと。親方様に受けたご恩を最後の瞬間までお返しするのみ。
はい、それが僕たち家具の務めです。
The thunder crashed once more. Except for those instants when lightning lit up the sky, nothing could be seen out the window but the darkness of the night. Just as humans rule when the sun is up, those that are not human rule when the sun is down. The darkness of the night that now surrounded Rokkanjima was ruled by another master, not the Ushiromiya family. Did this master take pity on Maria when she was alone and being pummeled by the rain in the rose garden, lending her an umbrella? Cannon looked at the rose garden's lights, dimly visible beyond the window. The dim lights weren't enough to illuminate the surrounding area. Looking at those lights felt like making eye contact with the witch, and Cannon forced himself to avert his gaze. If he didn't, it felt like his eyes would be absorbed by that light. Can the weather change how people act? You often hear stories about how things like atmospheric pressure can influence people's moods and physical health. For some time now, everyone had been struggling to clear the gloomy atmosphere. But any conversation was quickly cut off, and in the end, the dining hall was simply filled by the sound of the rain. Dessert was some kind of chocolate cake accompanied by pear sherbet. Goda-san enthusiastically explained the recipe as soon as this final dish was presented. But I quickly forgot the details. The guest of honor, grandfather, was absent, the weather was horrible, and the identity of the one who had lent Maria an umbrella remained a mystery. When dinner ended, no one felt even one bit refreshed. It was too late now, but I realized painfully that taste wasn't the only important part of a meal. The whole atmosphere was also critical. Goda-san, the supposed conductor of this musical piece called dinner, did his best to enliven the place, dropping little jokes left and right, but apparently not one of them succeeded. Oh. After taking orders after dinner, coffee, tea, and orange juice, he left for the kitchen. As soon as he disappeared, Uncle Kraus spoke.
やれやれ。せっかくゴーダが腕を振るってくれた晩餐も、こうも沈み込んでしまっては実に味気ないというものだ。
まったくね。今日は何を食べても美味しく感じられない、そういう気分よ。
ほう。どうしてそういう気分なのか聞きたいね。心が晴れ晴れできるよう、兄として後で協力させてもらうよ。
Yeah, I bet you would. Aunt Ava grimaced slightly. I'd already heard she wasn't on good terms with Uncle Kraus, but it was pretty clear now. When I looked around, I noticed that my father and Aunt Rosa were also grimacing. Apparently there was something besides the weather troubling all of them.
エヴァおばさんも、うちの親父も、ずいぶん機嫌が悪そうっすね。
そう？
私はそうは思いませんよ。
I asked Aunt Natsuhi, who was sitting on my right, but she seemed to be in a bad mood as well. She snapped back as if to say she was absolutely not interested.
まあ、ちょいと大人な話で込み入ってな。バトラ君たち子供は気にせんでええ話や。はははは。なあ、夏日さん。桐江さん。
Uncle Hideyoshi laughed as he spoke, but without his usual brightness. So I could vaguely imagine just how complicated their adult conversation had become. On top of that, even Aunt Natsuhi and Kide-san, the people he had directed his comment to, ignored him as though they hadn't heard anything. I didn't know what kind of conversation they'd been having while us kids were away, but it reminded me of how Dad said he had stomach cramps when we arrived at the mansion. The family conference might have been a playful reunion to us kids, but it was definitely different for the adults. After Uncle Hideyoshi's comment was ignored by the other adults, and an awkward silence fell over the room, Kiri-san spoke up.
子供たちの進路はどうなるのかしらとか、そういう話よ。バトラ君は将来はどうするの？ぼんやりと大学進学？そんなのじゃ長い人生レースのスタートラインとしては心細いわよ。
あいたたたたたた。
Way to change the subject. It happened again!
そうやそうや。バトラ君やジェシカちゃんの進路の話をしとったんや。将来のことは真剣に考えんとあかんで。
Hideyoshi heartily agreed as if they had really been talking about that, but that was probably wrong. Kiri-san had been obviously trying to change the subject. However, if Kiri-san had determined that this was the best course of action for now, then she was probably right. Taking this into account, I cast aside my suspicions as to the cause behind Aunt Ava and Dad's bad moods. Oh, my neck popped. At long last, the serving cart returned, filled with coffee and tea. Kumasawa-san and Shannon-chan served it to everyone. Goda-san then explained that this concluded tonight's meal. If only the mood had been a bit more cheery, it might have been the best dinner in my life. It was a shame this best of dinners couldn't have been had under the best conditions.
ジョージお兄ちゃん、これでご飯は終わり？
これでおしまいだよ。
はしてないわよ。お席について、落ち着いてジュースを飲みなさい。
Yeah, drink your orange juice. Maria looked like she was really excited by the occasionally crashing thunder. Maybe she wanted to quickly finish eating and run over to the window. She had been fidgeting for a while, waiting for the meal to end. Some people are afraid of thunder, while others find it interesting, and Maria was apparently one of the latter sort. I find it interesting. I like the sound of thunder. Therefore, when she heard from George Aniki that dinner was over, a huge smile broke across her face. She then rose from her seat, took out her handbag, which she'd set under the seat, never having left it even while she was eating, and began fishing around inside of it. No one seemed particularly concerned by this behavior.
なんだい？どこから持ってきたの？
Where did you get it? What? George was the first to notice it. As he spoke, Battler noticed it too. What the hell? They saw that Maria was now holding a beautiful Western-style envelope. On the front of the envelope, the Ushidamiya family crest, the one-winged eagle, was done in gold leaf. Furthermore, the fact that it was sealed with dark red wax made it clear that this wasn't something Maria could have brought as a prank.
Maria-chan, それは何?
It seemed that Natsuhi had also noticed the strangeness of the envelope Maria was holding. Her voice sounded too serious for someone admonishing a small child, so the relatives around us finally noticed too.
どうしたよ、夏日姉さん。
それ、何？あなた、それをどこで拾ったの？
Let me guess. Beatrice.
その封筒は、Kinzoさんの？
When Nanjo muttered that, even us kids couldn't understand why everyone seemed to be frozen solid. The envelope that Maria held was one of the Ushidamiya family's head custom-made envelopes for private use. Oh. In other words, it can only mean one thing. This envelope contained a message from Kinzo.
どうしてそんな封筒がここにあるんだね。
こいつは面白いもんが飛び出してくるぜ。
Yeah.
ちょいとわしに見せてみ。
Hey.
ダメ、マリアが読むの。マリアがみんなに読んで聞かせなさいって言われたの。
What? Uncle Hideyoshi tried to snatch the envelope out from Maria's hands, but she protected it as though hugging it and didn't let go.
秀吉兄さん、子供相手に力ずくなんていけませんよ。マリアちゃん、その封筒はどうしたの？
傘を貸してくれた時にベアトリーチェにもらった。
I knew it.
ご飯が終わったらマリアがみんなに読んで聞かせろって言われた。マリア
You're the witch's messenger.
メッセンジャーこの島の魔女様は随分と洒落てるじゃねえかよ。
Battler tried to joke about it, but no one laughed.
それで中には何て書いてあるのかしら、マリアちゃん。
読む。
Oh boy. Maria casually opened the envelope. It was sealed only with wax, so she just had to remove the sealing wax to open it. That sealing wax fell onto the desk. Hideyoshi hastily picked it up and stared fixedly at it. He then set it on the center of the table where Natsuhi, Kiri, and Nanjo stared at it. Imprinted in the sealing wax was the one-winged eagle, which was the Ushidamiya family crest and also Kinzo's personal crest.
これは当主様の紋章？
私は金蔵さんに手紙をもらったことがあるからわかる。これは間違いなく金蔵さんの風浪だ。
でもこのお屋敷にはそれと同じ紋章がいくつもあるのでは？例えば風浪用のハンコのようなものがあれば金蔵さんでなくても風浪はできるのでは？
Somehow I doubt that.
いや、金蔵さんは風浪には必ず自分が指にしている後ろ宮家当主の証の指輪で刻印をする。
Wait, ring. Was that the ring that he threw out the window?
この形や複雑な衣装は間違いなく金蔵さんの風浪だ。そうとは限らんよ。親族であれば一度くらいは親父の手紙を受け取ったことはあるはずだ。その風浪をもとに偽の紋章を作り、親父殿を語って刻印した可能性が否めない。
兄貴に同感だ。風浪に刻印されている紋章がどれだけ親父のものに酷似していたとしても、だからその封筒が親父のものであるという証拠にはならない。
Somehow I honestly believe that it's actually, actual envelope.
私も全く同じよ。
They're literally
風
just
浪の
trying to...
刻印だけでお父様の手紙だなんて決めつけることには同意できないわ。南條先生、曖昧な言葉は慎んでいただけるかしら。
これは失礼。出過ぎた口でしたな。
One after another, all the siblings from Kraus on downwards rejected Nanjo's statement, saying that the envelope Maria held wasn't necessarily from Kinzo. They were afraid. They feared from the bottom of their hearts that Kinzo's intentions were written in there, and that it might be some announcement regarding the inheritance that would surely be decided unfavorably to them. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on here.
その封筒は傘を貸してくれた人がくれたのね。じゃわからないでしょ。そうなの？
つまり魔女ベアトリーチェが傘と一緒にマリアちゃんにその封筒を。
Maria nodded forcefully.
主人に私も同感です。得体の知れない何者かが手渡した怪文書です。読むにも値します。
Yeah, it's worth reading.
せめて読むくらいいいじゃねえかよ。な。
Battler said it to Jessica in a small voice, trying to act tough, but Natsuhi heard him clearly and glared at him with threatening eyes.
それでマリオ様、ベアトリーチェに食事が終わったら読めって言われたんだな。
Oh boy.
いいじゃないの皆さん。これはおじい様の封筒ではなく、ベアトリーチェの封筒。誰が書いたのかはともかく、中身を聞いてからの判断でもいいんじゃないかしら。
そうやな。お父さんが書いたとは限らんが、中身が気になるのは事実や。マリアちゃん、さっきは無理やり取ろうとしてすまんかった。謝るから、みんなの前でそれ読み上げてくれんか。
マリア、読みなさい。
Oh boy. As all the relatives stared fiercely at Maria, she spread the letter open with a rustle.
本当に親父の手紙だと思うか？
ありえんね。親父殿が私たちに何かを発表するときは、直接でなければいつだって源氏を通してじゃないか。このようなこじゃれた方法でするとは思えんね。
そうよ。マリアをメッセンジャーに？それこそお父様の趣味じゃないわよ。
Yeah, considering doesn't like Maria, so I'm guessing it really was Beatrice.
ローザ、これはマリアちゃんが私たちを脅かそうという何かの隠し芸なんでしょ？
マリアはそんな気の利いたことができる子じゃないわ。
Okay. The words came out of Maria's mouth, but for some reason her voice seemed different than usual. Everyone went suddenly silent.
六軒島へようこそ、後宮家の皆様方。
What the hell?
私は金蔵様にお仕えしております、当家顧問錬金術師のベアトリーチェと申します。
そんなアホな。
黙って。
長年にわたりご契約に従いお仕えしてまいりましたが、本日金蔵様よりその契約の終了を宣告されました。よって本日をもちまして、当家顧問錬金術師のお役目を終了させていただきますことを、どうかご了承くださいませ。
This is Maria's... What nonsense.
聞くに耐えません。
さてここで皆様に契約の一部をご説明しなければなりません。私ベアトリーチェは金蔵様にある条件とともに莫大な黄金の貸与をいたしました。その条件とは、契約終了時に黄金のすべてを返還すること、そして利息として後宮家のすべてを頂戴できるというものです。
むちゃくちゃや。
初めっからむちゃくちゃだぜ。
要するにあれだろ？よくある悪魔の契約みたいなやつなんだろ？ほんで契約がおしまいってことになるから利子をいいんや？長年の退職金のつもりかな。ちゃっかりした魔女だぜ。
バトラ君、今は茶化さない方がいい。
Battler made a face as if to ask, if I can't make fun of this, what can I make fun of? Some of the adults' faces were pale, while others looked dazed.
これだけをお聞きならば、皆様は金蔵様のことをなんと無慈悲なのかとお嘆きにもなられるでしょう。
That is not... I don't think that's Maria's voice.
しかし金蔵様は皆様に富と名誉を残す機会を設けるため、特別な条項を追加されました。その条項が満たされた時に限り、私は黄金と利子を回収する権利を永遠に失います。
特別な条項？
それは何よ？
特別条項。契約終了時にベアトリーチェは黄金と利子を回収する権利を持つ。ただし、隠された契約の黄金を暴いた者が現れた時、ベアトリーチェはこの権利を全て永遠に放棄しなければならない。
The hidden gold of this contract?
利子の回収はこれより行いますが、もし皆様のうちの誰か一人でも特別条項を満たせたなら、すでに回収した分も含めて全てお返しいたします。なお、 改宗の手始めとしてすでに後ろ宮本家の家督を受け継いだことを示す後ろ宮家当主の指輪をお預かりさせていただきました。封印のろうそくにてそれをどうかご確認くださいませ。
これがそうだというのか。親父が指輪を手放すなどありえん。
Well, he did throw it out the window. Kraus stared at the ceiling wax as if just trying to burn a hole through it. Ava and Rudolph were doing the same over his shoulder.
確かにチェスの時金蔵さんの指に何か足りんような違和感は感じ取りました。
南條先生、おぼろげな記憶でいい加減なことを言わないように。
その心眼をここでは測れないわ。本当に指輪をおじい様は誰かに手渡したのか、この手紙が本当の話かどうかはおじい様に直接確認すればいいだけの話じゃない。
そうね、桐江さんの言う通りだわ。
果たして金蔵さんがそれを答えてくれますかな。あの人のお考えは時に人の世の常識では測りかねますからな。どの道ざれ言の息を出んの。
Okay, I'm just gonna point this out. I actually, despite how kind of tense this moment is, I like this music.
第一、黄金幻想自体が親父殿のまやかしだ。ありもしない黄金の話を始めるのはお前たちだけで十分だ。
でも魔女様はおっしゃってるわよ。黄金を見つけた者に家督と全ての財産を引き渡すってね。つまりベアトリーチェ様はお父様の顧問弁護士もしくは金庫番でもあられるってことじゃないのかしら。このような怪しげな文章を子供に託すような怪人物を信用することなどできません。
兄貴、腹を割ってもらうぜ。兄貴の知らない人物が親父の財産管理をしてるようなことはあり得るのか。
いや、それはない。私は当主代行として親父殿の全ての財産を把握している。私に知られずにそれらを自由にできる人間はいないはずだ。
じゃあつまりクラウス兄さんの把握していない財産ってことじゃないの？
How foolish! Such assets could not possibly exist.
あるわよ。兄さんが把握していないお父様のそんなものあるわけがありません。
いや、あるで。それがお父さんの、いやベアトリーチェの隠し宝庫や。
話を整頓しよう。つまり親父には兄貴も知らない腹心がいた。そしてそいつはずっと黄金の番と運用を任されてきたわけだ。あるいは悪魔の契約まがいのルールで融資した神塚の大富豪か。
その腹心のベアトリーチェさんは自分の黄金を融資する相手として息子兄弟の誰がふさわしいか試したいということなのかしら。
Kitty's question was one that all the siblings wanted answered. Upon reflection, they realized that Kinzo's strange epitaph had hung in the hall beneath the witch's portrait for quite some time. And while it had long been whispered that whoever solved the puzzle would receive everything, no one had ever clearly stated it. It was just something that everyone had hoped might be true. And right here, right now, the thing they'd hoped for had been clearly stated in Beatrice's letter. It clearly specified that everything of the Ushiramiya family would be given to the one who found the gold.
黄金の隠し場所については、すでに金蔵様が私の肖像画の下に碑文にて公示されております。条件は、碑文を読むことができるものすべてに公平に。黄金を暴けたなら、私はすべてをお返しするでしょう。それではどうか今宵を、金蔵様との知恵比べにて、存分にお楽しみくださいませ。今宵が知的かつ優雅な夜になるよう、心よりお祈りいたしております。黄金のベアトリーチェ。
Beatrice the Golden.
父さん、聞こえているはずです。返事をしてください。
The door to Kinzo's study was being violently, harshly beaten against over and over again like a percussion instrument. The yells coming from the other side belonged to Kraus, Rudolph, and sometimes Ava. It was the siblings who were trying to intrude upon Kinzo's study to question him about the truth behind that mysterious letter. Kinzo was eating. An elegant tablecloth was set over the desk, and the fabulous dinner that had adorned the table down in the dining room was reproduced here. Kinzo continued his meal in silence. Shannon, taking away an empty plate, looked uncomfortably between the door being pounded on and Kinzo's face.
皆さんがお呼びですが、いかがいたしますか？
しておけ。神と我が晩餐は沈黙をたっとる。
黙らせます。
必要ない。我が耳には届いておらぬ。
Kinzo enjoyed his food, apparently indifferently. Genji quietly lowered his head and took a single step back. As he did, Ken, who stood in reserve like a shadow behind at the sight of Genji, opened his mouth.
マリア様がベアトリーチェ様より手紙を受け取られたとのことで、その真偽を確かめたいのでしょう。
あやつめ、早速始めおったか。さあ、ベアトリーチェ、かけるコインに不足はあるまい。存分に今宵を楽しもうではないか。負ける気はないぞ。お前の微笑みは永遠に私のものだ。もう一度見られるなら、富も名誉も我が命すらも惜しくはない。さて、ルーレットは回り始めた。ボールはどのポケットに落ちるのか。ノワールか、ルージュか、それとも親の総取りか。さあ始めるがいい、ベアトリーチェ。私が再びお前に奇跡の力というものを見せてやる。
10 o'clock? Okay. Okay. I could go and save. Okay. Looks like shit's about to go down. What did... Okay. Maria's voice changed. Was Beatrice speaking through Maria? I don't know. Because if Beatrice was speaking through Maria, then the only thing I could think of that would lead to such an idea is the fact that Beatrice did give an umbrella and that letter to Maria. So maybe she was... that one contact allowed her to basically interact through Maria, or... I don't know. It looks like the servants are aware of Beatrice's existence. Or at least a handful of them are. Goda doesn't seem to be... he seems to be none the wiser. He doesn't, obviously... I don't think he falls into that category. But Canon seems to know. Same thing with Genji. Huh. Well, this was an eventful episode, I'll tell you that. Now I just can't wait to get started on the next episode. So, yeah. Okay. This ought to be interesting. Okay, so I may as well go ahead and point this out, because I kind of wanted to do a Let's Play of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. I know this is completely random, okay? But here's how my schedule for my videos are going to work. I'm trying to make a legit schedule here. So, it's going... Now, this might sound a little strange. I'm oddly going to keep to the schedule that I have. Danganronpa, Umineko, Danganronpa, Umineko. But here's what it's going to change. So let's say it's the schedule, the order goes Danganronpa, Umineko, Danganronpa, Digimon Story. The next one would be what comes after Danganronpa normally. So Umineko, Danganronpa, Umineko, and then Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. So I'm gonna spread it out. I'm not gonna be as heavily focused on Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth than compared to Umineko and Danganronpa. I'm gonna be more focused on Umineko and Danganronpa. That also includes Danganronpa 2 whenever I finally get started on that one. But I'm gonna be more heavily focused on those two games. But I'm still gonna do the Let's Play of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. So that's kind of the schedule that I'm going to go. So tomorrow there's going to be an episode, tomorrow there's going to be an episode of Danganronpa. But then Sunday there's going to be an episode of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And then Monday there will be the next episode of Umineko. So that's kind of what I've got planned. If that's okay with you guys, because, I don't know. Part of me really wants to do the Let's Play of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth because it's a fun game, but I don't want to ignore pretty much the people who really like Umineko and Danganronpa. I don't want to ignore you guys. Like, seriously, I like you guys. You guys are pretty cool. But I just want to make everyone happy, that's all. Because I've got some people that were telling me they wanted to see Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, and I just want to make everybody happy. That's all I want to do. So besides my schedule, that's literally the only thing that I could think of for Umineko right now. In terms of theorizing. Beatrice and Maria, they obviously are going to have some sort of connection. That's what my thoughts are. So, if you guys like what you see, be sure to let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.